What if I told you that within you lies a power slumbering, sown by the creator of the universe himself? This isn't a metaphor or spiritual consolation. It's to be taken literally. Deep within you lies a living force, a divine spark that has been gifted to you since the beginning of time. But like sacred treasures, this power isn't activated by desire alone. It requires determination, awareness, and a specific moment. And that moment could be now. Many go through life like leaves in the wind, swept along by the chaos of the outside world, forgetting that they carry the original code of the universe within them, like a river that has forgotten that it flows from the ocean. But there are rare, powerful, irreversible moments when that spark jumps, as if something in the cosmos had said, "This is your moment." If you're watching this video, it's no coincidence. A cosmic echo has reached you, an invisible frequency that touches and whispers to your heart. Wake up, for the universe operates in cycles, like a quantum clock that functions with precision. And there are cycles that don't repeat, sacred windows that open for a limited time. This isn't a threat, but a cosmic truth. If you don't harness this power now, you could miss a sacred opportunity. Imagine this power as a seed buried deep within your soul. A seed waiting for the right conditions to germinate. Light, intention, and action. If you don't give it what it needs, it doesn't die. It sleeps. And in this dream, the soul slowly consumes itself, feeling that something is missing, without knowing what. Why do some people seem to effortlessly achieve the life they desire, while others only accumulate frustration? The difference lies neither in luck nor in talent. It lies in awakening this inner power and consciously harnessing the universal laws that govern it. In this video, I'll guide you on a path that will change your perspective on life. We will reveal to you this power God has given you. You will learn how to use it before it's too late. You will understand why your external reality reacts to what's going on in your head and heart. But beyond the theory, this message is a call to action. Knowing you have power but not using it is like being chained to your belt with your keys in your pocket. Prepare to remember what has always been within you, because the universe is speaking, and it's time for you to respond. From the earliest civilizations that left traces in stone to the codices hidden in subterranean chambers, an invisible thread runs through all cultures, religions, and wisdom schools. The idea that humans possess a power bestowed by the divine. An inner thread that, if well guided, can create, transform, heal, and even change the course of destiny. In the temples of ancient Egypt, initiates learned that humans were miniature images of the cosmos. They were not merely subjects of the gods, but bearers of K, the life force that, when consciously activated, allows us to shape reality. This idea was neither popular nor accessible. Only those who demonstrated discipline, pure intention, and a heart in tune with Mahat, the principle of universal balance, were worthy to experience the secrets of inner power. Further east, in the Vedic spells of India, we find the concept of Atman, the supreme inner being, indistinguishable from Brahman, the divine totality. Here, the awakening of power manifests through the mastery of the mind, the life energy prana, and the reorganization of mental patterns through mantra and meditation. It's not about asking an external God for salvation, but about remembering that the most sacred temple is within ourselves and that the universe responds to those who remember themselves as part of it. The Hermetic philosophers of Alexandria summarized these insights in a well-known and feared formula. As above, so below. As within, so without. This maxim wasn't a poetic metaphor, but a functional law of the universe. What happens within is directly related to the outside world. So, if you know how to work with your energy, your will, and your vibration, you can literally reshape your environment. This scope of power can even be found in the Judeo-Christian narrative. In Genesis, human beings are created in the image and likeness of God, which esoterically means that they possess the same qualities as the Creator. The ability to imagine something, to name it, to order chaos, to give life, or to destroy it. The verb say has a creative power in the Bible. And God said, "Let there be light, and let it give us light." Over time, however, this teaching was obscured, transformed into rituals and dogmas, obscuring its original meaning. Throughout history, this truth was preserved in symbols, myths, and occult practices to protect it from ignorance and manipulation. The sages knew that revealing this power without proper preparation could lead to self-destruction. Therefore, awakening occurred gradually, like a snake's ascent up the spine. Slow, controlled, but inevitable. Today, this knowledge returns to you, for even though many have forgotten it, the power remains, waiting. And perhaps, just perhaps, your time has come to remember. What we call the power God gave you is not an external force, nor is it a possession reserved for the saints or the enlightened. It is an ancient vibration encoded within your soul, a creative energy that expresses itself through three fundamental centers: consciousness, language, and will. These three axes form the trident with which the ancient sages learned to manifest reality, not as an act of imaginative magic, but as an exercise in profound vibrational mastery. Let's first talk about consciousness, the inner eye. In almost all esoteric traditions, power begins when a person becomes self-aware. This doesn't just mean knowing their name, their history, or their ideas. It means being able to observe oneself without identifying with oneself, observing oneself from a higher vantage point, as if one were both actor and spectator in one's own work. Awakened consciousness is the first step, for without it, everything else is contaminated by ego, fear, or illusion. Power without consciousness is like a sword in the hands of a child. Therefore, on the path of initiation, the awakening of consciousness precedes any practice. Only those who know who they are can begin to use what they have. The second component is the word, the verb. Herein lies one of the most misunderstood secrets of spiritual power. Words are not just sounds. They are vibrations filled with intention. Every time you speak, you program your reality. The word itself is a magical act. It is the Haggis of Genesis, the Om of the Vedas, the abracadabra of the ancient grimoires, which literally means, I believe as I speak. Therefore, those who have forgotten its power often speak carelessly. They curse themselves with phrases like, I can't, that will never happen to me, that's just the way I am, without realizing that with every statement they are activating a prophecy. If you want to reconnect with the power God has given you, you must begin by purifying your language, not as a moral obligation, but as an act of vibrational hygiene. The third pillar is willpower, the silent force that guides everything. True will is not a desire, not an anxious longing for something. It is a firm, unshakable certainty that works from within, without being dependent on external results. It is this inner yes that remains, even when everything around us says no. The Hermetic text said that the will was the instrument with which the soul shaped matter. And the alchemists taught that true gold, philosophical gold, was not found in externals, but was forged in the crystal of an indomitable will. The power God has given you unfolds fully when you harmonize your conscience with your word, and your word with your will. Positive thinking isn't enough, nor is repeating affirmations when the intention is unclear. Wishing without action isn't enough either. True power comes from thinking what you feel, saying what you mean, and doing what you say. This absolute coherence creates a magnetic field so strong that the universe inevitably reacts. And this is where something extraordinary happens. When you enter this coherence, your environment reorganizes itself. People who aren't aligned disappear. New possibilities emerge. Ideas that were once snowballs become paths. It's as if the universe was just waiting for this moment to extend its support to you. But remember, this power isn't forced upon you, it's activated. And it's only activated when you're ready to be who you truly are. Now that we understand the three cores of divine power, consciousness, word, and will, it's time to delve deeper into the more subtle aspects of this energy. For the power God has given you is neither linear nor simple. It is multifaceted, like a spiral that unfolds inward and outward simultaneously. It's not just about having inner strength, but using that strength at the right time with the right intention and from the right inner place. A common misconception is the belief that power manifests as external dominance. It's assumed that those with power are the ones who control, assert themselves, and get what they want. But this is only a shadow of true power. Deep within esoteric teachings, true power lies not in controlling the world, but in transforming it without losing its center. This is where the concept of obedience to the soul emerges, a concept that may seem contradictory. How can obedience be a part of power? Mystical schools taught that before one can rule the world, one must learn to obey the highest within oneself, namely the higher self, that sacred part that seeks neither pleasure nor success nor fame, but is directed toward the eternal goal. Obeying the soul means saying yes when the ego wants to say no. It means acting even if one doesn't fully understand why. It means letting go of what you love when it hinders your development. It's a kind of active surrender, not a passive one. And this is where the true miracle happens. When you align yourself with your soul, the universe ceases to be an enemy and becomes a mirror. Another essential nuance is the time of the spirit. We are accustomed to living according to chronological time. Days, goals, schedules, deadlines, boundaries. But spiritual power doesn't respond to human time. It responds to a deeper rhythm, kairos, as the Greeks said. Sacred time, the precise moment when everything comes together. Harnessing the power God has given you isn't just about doing things. It's about knowing when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to talk, when to plant and when to harvest. Impatience is one of the greatest inhibitors of spiritual power, for it causes the flower to bloom prematurely and destroys the fruit before it is ripe. This is how many people sabotage their own power. They begin to awaken and feel the power within themselves, but they rush, wanting immediate results, visible evidence, external validation. And in this impulse, they separate themselves from the source. Power is not a switch, but a flame. And this flame needs nourishment, protection, and stability. And there's another aspect, perhaps the most overlooked: service. The power God gave you was not given to you to use for your personal gain. It was given to you as a channel of transformation. All divine energy has a common purpose. If you use your power only to satisfy superficial desires, the flame will go out. But if you direct it toward good, toward awakening, toward expansion, it will multiply. When your consciousness, your word, and your will are in sync with the rhythm of the spirit and the guidance of the soul, the power within you ceases to be human and becomes divine in its effect. This is the moment when you stop fighting against life and begin dancing with it. The awakening of the power God has sown within you is not a miracle that happens suddenly. It is a sacred practice that is cultivated moment by moment, decision by decision, thought by thought. And like any sublime practice, it requires consistency, humility, and discernment. It's not enough to know you have power. You must learn to live it. Here, I share 5 profound and practical keys to not only becoming a bearer of that power, but also consciously embodying it. First, actively listen to your soul every morning. Before you turn on your phone or open your eyes, pause, breathe, place your hand on your chest and ask your soul, what do you desire today? The mind seeks obligations, the emotions seek pleasure, but the soul speaks of a purpose. Recognizing this inner voice is the first act of true power. Begin the day by obeying your higher self. Second, practice language as a sacred tool. Every word you speak embodies your reality. Guard your words like a sharp sword. Avoid speaking negatively about yourself, others, or the future. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I'm still learning. Instead of showing neediness, affirm openness. Remember, your word is a command. Don't use it to bind yourself. Third, action is important, but not compulsory. Yes, action is necessary. Power does not thrive on passivity. But don't confuse action with hyperactivity. Sometimes the most powerful action is letting go of control. Ask yourself a question before each step. Is it my ego or my soul? If the answer is my soul, then move forward with strength. If it's my ego, take a deep breath. Acting without awareness will wear you down. Purposeful action liberates. Fourth, surround your energy with beauty and truth. Your environment is an extension of your vibration. Be mindful of what you consume. Music, images, conversations, and surroundings can either uplift you or deplete you. A harmonious ecosystem will strengthen your energy. Clean up your space, your circle, your habits. Not from a rigid perspective, but like tending a garden. so that the flower of the soul can grow undisturbed. Fifth, it works even on a small scale. Spiritual power isn't about self-aggrandizement. It's about blessing the world. It doesn't necessarily have to change the planet. It's enough to touch a life, listen to someone, inspire someone, and love where no one else will. When you give from your deepest core, the universe recognizes your vibration and expands you. Selfless service is the greatest amplifier of divine power. Remember, what you do daily shapes you forever. Every thought is a stone in the temple of your conscience. Every decision is a seed in the garden of your destiny. God has given you immense power. Your mission is to honor Him through your way of life. You have accompanied me through ancient truths, through veiled and secret symbols that waited for centuries like blazing flames, waiting for their breath. There is no turning back now, for once a truth is known, it cannot be unsaid. The power God has given you is not a theory, a belief, or a superstition. It is a living reality beating within you. Perhaps for years you've felt like something was missing, as if you were living with the handbrake on. Perhaps you've tried techniques, books, and paths, and yet you haven't found fulfillment. This is because divine power isn't activated from outside. It doesn't come from an external teacher or a perfect formula. It arises in the very moment you choose to remember who you are. That moment may be today or it may be lost, because even if power is eternal, your opportunity is not. The forces of the modern world conspire to make you forget. They fill you with noise, urgency, and distraction. And when you're not awake, the soul falls asleep. And a sleeping soul cannot activate the fire that burns within. Therefore, this message is more than just information. It is a direct call to your spirit, a spark thrown into your consciousness, a drum reverberating at the threshold of your cosmic memory. No matter how many mistakes you've made, it doesn't matter if you feel it's too late. The power God has given you doesn't judge. It never ends. It won't let you down. Just wait. Wait until you decide to take the reins and walk away like you're no longer dragging yourself. Like someone who doesn't seek validation because they remember they are heirs to infinity. Your soul's story didn't begin here, yet this could be the chapter where everything changes, where you stop reacting and start creating, where you stop begging and start commanding, where you stop hiding and become a living temple of the divine. And He won't do it out of pride. He will do it because the world needs awakened beings. It needs their light, your role model, your vibration, because someone is waiting to see you shine so they can emulate you. So look inside yourself, take a deep breath, and say it silently, from the heart. I accept the power given to me. I use it with love, with awareness, with determination. That's all you need. Just that inner yes. The universe will do the rest. If this message has sparked something within you, subscribe to the channel to further explore the secrets of your soul. Like if you think it's time to use your power, share this video with other researchers who are ready to remember. Comment below, I accept the power within me, because now you know, the power is within you, and now is the time for it.